Good morning to all. And to all, good morning. Happy Veterans Day, by the way.
Yeah.
Thursday, November the 11th.
Yeah.
We are more than 1/3 through the month of November, gang.
Are we?
It's a 30-day month.
Oh, yeah.
We've already completed the first 10 days.
There you go.
Here we are entering the second 10 days. Are you catching up on your calendar now?
Yes, I'm caught up.
The other thing we're going to point to is 2 weeks from today.
Yes.
It is Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I call that the middle of the holiday season, right? Doesn't it kind of kick off with Halloween?
Yeah.
Is it the low point of the holidays? Is it the
point.
least?
Maybe in your family.
The least
What?
loved holiday of the holidays?
No, isn't it the most? For years, tell me if I'm correct. For years, Thanksgiving weekend, mainly because it's a 4-day weekend always, was the most traveled of the holiday weekends in our great country.
Yes.
But I mean, is
So
it
it is
out
a
of the love and joy, countdown? Where does it fall?
You know,
We just
Halloween,
need to enjoy it all,
Christmas.
don't we?
Yeah.
Here's the
Don't
thing.
we?
For
Come
the
on
most
now.
part, Halloween is associated with nothing but fun. Would you
Yes.
agree with that?
And candy.
There is some stress. In fact, there's a whole lot of stress that comes with Christmas. But we still typically enjoy the holidays, a very festive couple of weeks of the year.
Yes.
But there is some negativity around Thanksgiving. I think it's like,
Negativity?
yes,
Why?
I think it's like, oh
It's
gosh.
just some ho-humness.
No, it's not. You got the food, you got the
There's
football.
always
Cute.
there's always the discussion about, oh, what are we going to talk about at the dinner table, or what won't we talk about at the dinner table, and then it's the dinner itself, and that's what we're going to talk about today. 2 weeks out,
Wow, I'm getting
preparations
stressed.
must begin for the Thanksgiving feast.
Yes.
The question I have, do our audience members really enjoy the turkey, the traditional turkey dinner? If you don't like the turkey, what would you rather have as the centerpiece of your Thanksgiving feast?
Somebody give me a burger. Does
Almost
anybody say
anything.
burgers?
It would be your last choice, the turkey. would.
Yes.
Really?
The
What don't
last
you like
choice.
about it?
It's just not exciting at all.
Not
I would
exciting.
never, I never buy a turkey breast the rest of the year and
Right.
cook it because it is so uninspiring and
Time out.
Time out.
You're just
Time out,
buying the
Bob
turkey
says.
breast? Well, that's your problem.
Well, I'm just saying,
You gotta
like,
buy
the rest of the
entire
year, you're not going to
turkey.
buy a whole turkey.
Yeah, she's
I'm
saying
never,
like-
like, choosing to cook turkey.
Turkey is never in your
Anytime,
mind
'cause it's
any
so
other time of the
awesome.
year. I'm 100% on board with you. I do not enjoy the turkey dinner. Really, I don't like hate it, and I will eat it. Of course, it is meat. I do like to eat the meat, but I don't look forward to it in any way, shape, or form. And I always go like, well, why? I go, it's boring. And then someone will say, oh, you're not cooking it right. No, I've had it 102 different ways,
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
and I've had it well done in that like deep fried.
That's
really
the best
delicious,
kind.
a
actually.
fantastic way to
Yes.
do it.
Yeah.
But still, doesn't excite me.
It's beautiful though to look
Agreed.
at. When it comes out of the oven and you got those,
It
it's
is.
just sitting there.
Agreed.
The dead bird.
I thought it does look impressive. It looks impressive on the table, but I want it to taste good, not just to look good sitting there.
I do think it tastes good, but there's no way we eat a whole bird. It just does not go, we don't use it. So,
Yeah.
and we're not in love with it either. Like, I like some gravy over the white meat. I mean, if you get
Yeah.
the dark meat, it's
Yeah.
a lot, juicier, and I do enjoy that. If somebody feeds it to me, absolutely in. But this year, we're going to do, I think, the menu is still being formed, but I think we're going to do like a stuffed pork loin, something like that. Not
That's just good.
And
Yeah.
do you and Jeff, will you equally be in the kitchen creating this, or was one of you more the cook than the other?
Who's stuffing the loin?
That will be me.
All right. But Jeff
Yeah,
cooks,
he'll
right?
absolutely
Yeah.
help. Yes.
Yeah.
Jaden and I are kind of
And
in
your
charge of the plan.
beautiful daughter, yeah. Okay.
And it's not just the turkey for me. You know how I feel about this topic.
I don't know where
I'm
you're
not going to go
yet.
too over. And we do this every year,
Yeah.
I'm.
You don't like the sides either?
No, it's
No,
it's the
I
people
don't.
around the table, I think.
You don't like the starchy stuff?
No.
Wow, you just went there. You outed
know what-
No,
yourself in the
I mean
worst way.
food-wise, like
Okay.
the sides, it's all kind of the most bland,
Yeah.
non-exciting. And I
Shut
know
your
you can
mouth.
zhuzh them up, but like the turkey is bland and mashed potatoes, yeah, they're good, but there's just a bunch of filler blandness.
I love mashed
I am
potatoes.
sorry.
Mashed
I know
potatoes and
people
gravy.
will be
Keep going, 'cause
upset with me.
so far I'm with you.
No.
What else?
I'd rather have
I
a-
love
mashed
Brussels
potatoes.
sprouts. Brussels sprouts are an accessory to
Green
something
beans.
awesome.
No.
I mean, they're all
Sauteed
just
with
kind of
some
like,
garlic and- Oh, I
It is
totally
not
agree.
exciting.
You're not a
Any
meat and
of them.
potatoes girl.
Yams.
Thanksgiving's a meat and potatoes person's meat.
I didn't say meat. I was just saying turkey is. It doesn't have very much flavor. It's
not a
a
huge
sandwich
fan of
meat
the turkey,
food
but
for
I
me.
love
Sandwich
everything
meat.
else that goes
It's
with
great
it.
turkey.
Yeah.
I would do a lamb
Love
roast.
There you go.
Rack of lamb, French lamb, anything, rosemary, some mustard,
Yep,
garlic, whatever.
Yep.
I love sweet potatoes. I do like sweet potatoes.
All right. Those
But
can
the
be
rest of this
Stuffing?
stuff is it just looks like a plate of blah. to me at the end when
Wow.
you put all the Thanksgiving.
Personal note: not to invite Nina to Thanksgiving dinner.
Mia will not do
No.
lamb. We don't do
No.
lamb. Mia's not a big lamb fan, simply because of the baby factor.
Oh yeah. My favorite thing is the stuffing.
Baby sheep.
though. I don't know what
Yeah,
it is.
it is
love,
delicious.
I can eat a whole flippin' plateful of just stuffing. And I will
not an
make
infant.
enough
It's up running
that for
around.
2 weeks. That's what I'm doing. I'm eating stuffing. I don't know what it is, but it's the only time of the year I get it, and I absolutely love it. It's actually probably make my top 10 list of favorite foods.
I'll tell you-
It is I think it's
Love it.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Love it.
Warm breaded
Disgusting. It's bread.
So good.
sog.
Love
So
it.
good.
That's probably my favorite part. I do like. I've always liked bread, even as a kid. Like, just stuff me with bread of some kind. But please, you know how I feel about onions. Not a big onion fan. So most people would put onions
Yeah.
in their stuffing.
Yeah.
And
I
it would
mean,
be like well
finally-
pronounced within that stuffing.
Finally
And not all
diced.
stuffing is soggy.
No.
But
That's
I
true. You
do
can
like
make
me
it how you
some
want it.
stovetop.
You do.
That was old school.
Yeah.
I grew up on that.
What is stovetop? Because as far as I see in the bag, it's just a bag of breadcrumbs or bread
Yeah, and
cubes.
seasoning.
And it comes
then
with a
you
packet?
put- And then you put water in it and a little pat of butter or a
So
half
it's
a
the
cup of
top
butter or whatever
ramen
it
of
is.
bread.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up with canned cranberry sauce with Campbell's mushroom soup and canned green beans with French onions in the
Yeah, the
casserole.
Yes,
classic.
that is classic.
Green
And
bean
then
casserole.
stovetop stuffing, some olives, I mean turkey. Aunt Jane used to, cook a mean turkey. But it was like, still have great memories of that. I know it's not foo-foo food, but it is what I grew up on.
Yeah.
So I could still eat that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love turkey. I mean, I couldn't, but I am the person, I don't overly love it that day, but man, I love cold
leftovers?
turkey. As far as the leftovers, I'm all in on everything. I don't need to even heat up the dressing. Got to heat up the
I'd rather
gravy
have
for
it hot than
leftovers,
leftovers.
but everything else I can do cold.
It gets all
but,
sinewy kind of, and then you're like cutting around the gristle.
Typically, we don't do the Thanksgiving feast at our place. We usually go to my in-laws. My wife's family will kind of handle the big parts of
Out
the meal.
there in Estacada.
No, her sister lives near us, like literally around
near
the
you,
corner.
okay.
So I can walk to the Thanksgiving dinner if it's at my sister-in-law's house. Anyways,
Yeah.
if I was to show up there, and I appreciate everything they make, and they are fantastic. My in-laws, my wife's side of the family, fantastic in the
really?
kitchen. But if I showed up for Thanksgiving dinner and I walked in and I saw a lasagna sitting in the middle of that table,
That's good.
I would
That's
get
good.
You're going
many
in.
levels
It's
higher.
more exciting. Yeah.
That would really excite
That's
me.
great.
Lasagna is
Yeah,
so good.
I'm with
I like
you.
lasagna.
Ground turkey in the lasagna.
What if how would this go over? What if you just didn't tell anyone and you brought
thought
a
about it.
lasagna?
I thought about it.
Would that be insulting? Or would you say, in addition to,
No,
we also have this
I
offering?
would hope that it's not considered insulting. I would present it that way, like, oh, guys, I want to bring
I
this to the table.
also want to
Yes.
bring. And then you're just like, I'm going to have this.
No, then my hope would be, at that point now, the hope shifts to, you know what, I hope you don't appreciate the fact that I brought this. I hope you just eat this turkey, and I'm
And I
going
get
home
the
with the
lasagna.
leftovers.
I think you should
Real
do
quick,
that.
Nina,
Oh my
do you like
gosh.
pumpkin pie?
Love it.
Yes.
I
Okay,
do
so
love
there is
pumpkin
something
pie.
you like.
We
I love
haven't even
pumpkin pie,
talked
yeah.
about the desserts.
I do love the desserts.
Yeah, pumpkin pie
Yes.
with like real whipped cream.
Or ready whip.
Or
doesn't matter
crappy
to
whipped
me.
cream, I like that
Either
too.
way, I do like the real better.
Because I
but-
like to
The
whip
ready
it,
whips.
like pull it out
Oh,
for
yeah.
special occasion, and then we like pecan pie too.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Maybe even more so. I'm not sure which I like better.
Oh my gosh.
Apple pie. What the heck?
Apple
That's
pie
awesome
good.
too.
Hold on.
You want to hear from the people?
Please do.
Yeah.
All right,
Go ahead.
Kate
The people-
Monk says, I love a good turkey. The leftovers, though, are the best part. Turkey sandwiches and turkey and dumpling soup.
That
Yes,
sounds good.
please, she says.
That sounds good.
That
Yeah.
does sound good.
Jesse Weiss says giant turkey, roasted green beans with almonds and bacon, mashed potatoes with gravy from drippings, stuffing with sausage, walnuts, and dried cranberries,
Yummy.
roasted sweet potatoes with shallots. I hit the more thing, I lost my place.
Sha-la-la-la-la.
With shallots, cinnamon, salt, pepper, rosemary, garlic, and oil, homemade cranberries, homemade pies too. It's a 2-day cooking affair.
I want to go to Jesse's house.
Yeah.
Did you see an earlier comment from Willie? I'm seeing, I think, a later comment from Willie. I'll just
He's
read the
calling
comment
me
I
too
see.
cool. I know, Willie.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Do you have this one?
Willie is, no.
that's
Go
the
ahead,
one you
read that one first.
First, he says Happy Veterans Day.
Yes,
and he
thank
says,
you.
my Thanksgiving Day is packed with charcuterie boards, beers, football, chips, and then a small turkey with a prime rib and all the sides. Tons of people over to help conquer the day. Can't believe we found a way to be too cool for classic American
I
food
know.
feast.
I'm all over the prime rib. That sounds amazing.
I'm getting to know Willie Huey a little bit better because Willie is going to be participating in our viewer
Oh, that's
recipe
right.
segment
Yeah.
next week, the week before Thanksgiving.
All right.
We're going to feature viewer recipes on the Sunrise TV show. And Willie, if I'm not mistaken, you are in between work travel assignments. Because it was a hard time scheduling with Willie this week because he was somewhere the first few days, and I think he's heading to Seattle later this morning. Am I right, Willie? Do I know your schedule well? But he also added a moment ago, he gets his pies from Pacific Pie Company. I thought that was worth a shout out because, correct me if I'm wrong, Willie, they are out of Salem, right? They've been there a long time. He says the absolute best, Pacific Pie Company. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I take that back.
In
Pacific Pie,
Southeast?
yes, they do the
Think
meat
so.
pies
Yes.
and the sweet pies.
So good.
That's Pacific Pie Company. You should. They're also awesome.
Oh, time out. Kate says $100 at Winco.
If you spend.
If you
yeah.
spend $100 at Winco, which is harder to do than you may think, by the way, you get a free bird. Is that right? They give you a free bird if you go to
Yes.
Winco and spend $100.
Yeah, they
have
used
have they
to.
done that before?
Yeah. I mean, years ago I got one.
Why don't I know about this?
Or at least they offered one, but I had already bought one, so I'm like, can't you give it to somebody else? And they're
Yeah.
like, nope, you got to take it.
Huh.
You gotta take it.
Take this bird, woman.
Take this bird.
All right.
Man, I always shop at Safeway real quick in a side. And I do it out of convenience because it is so close to our house.
Yep.
I just feel like anymore, we talk about it all the time on the news, it is becoming more and more expensive.
Yeah.
The grocery shopping.
Oh, absolutely.
I keep saying to my wife, oh, I don't have to do a big one. Like usually I go on Saturday or Sunday and I always say, oh, it's not going to be that big this week. And inevitably I'm like, oh yeah,
It's
that small
always
order
like-
is $190. You
Yep.
know, like, what the heck?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you see a family sometimes. The mom, she got the 4 gallons of milk and all the stuff she has. You know, she has, a handful of kids at home. $500
Yeah.
on any given week.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like,
ours
holy cow.
typically is, pushing between $225 and $250 in a week.
So I was telling Brenda about this. If anyone out there watches Curb Your Enthusiasm, the new season just started a couple weeks ago, and this episode, this last Sunday, God, you need to get. Yeah, this is so
far behind. I'm years
we would have so much
Light years behind.
more jokes to talk about. Okay, so this last weekend's episode was about a dinner party situation, and is very Seinfeld-esque. I mean, this was ripped from Seinfeld episode. So they had this dinner party, and the person who sat in the middle seat, with 2 people on the outside and then the heads of tables, they were like terrible conversationalists, just bringing up the most boring things, and the whole table was just like, oh my God, I don't care about any of this. And so the host of the party pulls Larry David into the kitchen, which is like, this is going terribly. He needs to get out of the middle. And Larry's like, he can't middle. I'll middle. I'll take care of it. And so they go back in the room, and Larry's like, you, up. We're switching seats. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? And they're like, no, this is an etiquette. You have to choose who's the middle.
The driver of the conversation
and
sits
it
in the
is
middle.
because you are the conductor of the table. And so he sits down, and in perfect Seinfeld fashion, he was like, guess who I ran into today? And the whole table livens up and was like, who was it? And it was some amazing, hilarious, crass story that's so Larry David.
Yes.
But it got me thinking of like Thanksgiving. And do you just let people sit wherever they want at the table? Do you have ideas of like, Jeff and I will be heads of table, and then the kids are in the middle, and whoever? Or do you have ideas of like who should sit next to each other and who should not?
My wife has
Typically,
ideas.
yeah,
I don't care, but my
absolutely.
wife has ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I sit at the head of the table.
Does she do like place cards?
We have in the past, yes.
Yeah.
Natasha will make them up. Yeah.
It is a smart, and like when you guys, when we all got married, you think about, okay, who's sitting at what table, who knows each other, who would have something in common to kind of talk about. But yeah, like a dinner party at your house, who's the middle?
This is way behind the scenes, maybe too behind the scenes, but one of the behind the scenes stars, the fast rising behind the scenes star of the show is Grandpa Kim. Your father-in-law.
Grandpa Kim,
The father-in-law of Rod Hill,
He
who
doesn't
lives
know about any of this.
in the basement of Rod's house,
Yes.
essentially.
Well, it's a beautiful
No,
walkout.
absolutely.
Okay, it's really nice.
It is.
That's a remodeled
Yeah,
palatial.
It's under the main floor, right?
basement.
Yes.
Partially in the ground.
Yeah, but big picture windows. It's really nice.
Our director Byron was saying, where does Grandpa Kim sit at the Thanksgiving feast? Is he the head of the table?
Let's see here. So I always sit at the head of the. Grandpa Kim can be, but typically
Does
no.
he come out of the basement? We should start there.
No, they come up, and they come up for crying out loud. Oh, usually Grandpa Kim and Grandma Kim sit to my left. So Grandpa Kim's actually a middle person. I think about it.
He's the middle.
Because it's me at the end, Grandma Kim, Grandpa Kim is in the middle. My wife is to my right. Natasha's over here. And then the rest of it is.
So Grandpa's a middle. Who's the middle on the other side?
Well, see, my dad will be the far end this year.
Okay.
And then.
Are they good conversationalists? Can they carry the table and involve
Does
everybody?
Grandpa Hill and
the
Grandpa
convers-
Kim get along?
Well, my dad sadly is suffering from some dementia.
You're right.
So he's
You
very,
shared that
So he's
before.
very
That's right.
quiet. And then, I feel bad because Grandma Kim's English isn't great. Grandpa Kim's English is terrific, so he understands everything I tell him to do.
Mow the lawn. Pick up those leaves.
But I feel sad because a lot of times they don't get involved in the conversation. And I feel like it's a generational thing. The younger people will be talking about something they don't want to talk about. It would be great if they would have some of their church friends join us at the table sometime. Because then they would have more conversation.
Yes,
between
Do you
yes.
kind of draw them in though? Because like
No, we
we've got,
try to, yeah. But that does make me feel bad when I feel like they're not really getting that involved in the conversation.
You'd be a
Our
good
grandma
middle.
talks the Blue
No,
Street.
Brenda and I decided. You're
I'm
the
wondering
middle.
about thank you. I'm wondering about sharing a story right now. I'm going to just share it. I cannot share it in full detail.
All right.
I can't. It's not fit for broadcast even on the internet.
Ooh, I
But
like it.
Speaking of the generational gap.
Yeah.
I was at a Thanksgiving dinner not too many years ago when a grandfather type, not mine, but a grandfather type in his 80s was sitting at this end of the table, the head, as you would say, and we had some friends from our neighborhood over. The woman, the wife of this family, Asian. This is going in a bad place. But this elder gentleman brought up as topic of conversation at Thanksgiving, do you know where the term blank came from? And it was the worst term you could think of to describe an Asian person.
And what did the whole table do? Just silence?
Jaws literally
Or did people
dropped
be like,
through the
Grandpa?
table. So the person who has actually this daughter of this man, yells at him.
What?
I'm not even going to say his name out loud, but blah. What are you doing? And he defends himself saying, what? I'm just saying there is a historical, there's a historical story behind this term. And no, do not go there. It
that
was
is
so
the
awkward.
worst. That's
It
what
was so-
everybody
I'm like,
writes
going,
about.
I got to get my plate and get out of here.
Of dreading the conversation is exactly
Yes.
that kind of thing.
Yes.
And that happens.
Do you know
all
where the term came from? Why the heck would we care? And I respect that man
And then
a lot, actually,
it sets
typically. Not in
sets
that
a
moment.
blanket over
Next
the whole
year is a
thing.
Friendsgiving after that. You know what? Some people, you're just like, I don't think.
Now, we
Were
do
you just
have
like
the,
dying inside?
Yeah, no, I felt so bad. I
wow.
immediately did she hear that? You're thinking of course she did. She's actually closer to him than I am. Of course she heard that. I'm like looking at her oh my God, what are you going to say? She couldn't say anything. She still had a smile on her face. It was so awkward. Then thankfully, like I said, his daughter yelled at him and said, "What are you doing?" What? I'm just talking about history. Not that history.
That is the worst.
Boy, boy.
People weighing in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Read up.
Connie Staub Miller says, I don't like to be controlled. No place cards. LOL.
I'm with you on that.
Willie Huey says his household tradition is to let their youngest daughter choose where everyone sits at the big table. It makes it fun. That's kind of cute. I like that.
Let's see, Candy Pike. Darn it. Oh, okay, Candy Pike. She said, I don't do a huge meal anymore. My son and I work retail, so Friday is always an early morning.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's a simple dinner of maybe pizza.
Like pizza.
Why not? Target is closed this year again, so it's just a relaxing day. But I do love a good turkey dinner.
Chris
Nice,
Gustafson
Candy. Yeah, I like
says,
this idea.
this is I've never heard of this, a table talk jar. You write different topics on it and you pull one out and just discuss. It opens up topics and stories. I would be nervous about that.
I would be nervous about that too.
Where they have those icebreaker games that you can, do. And
That would
things
be
to talk
fun.
about. Sure
Yeah,
would.
Yeah.
that would be fun.
I do like that idea. I don't know if I want to be in charge of coming up with the topics and putting them into the jar. I think my sister-in-law would enjoy doing that. I'm going to suggest this idea.
That might be
Was
actually
that
fun,
Chris?
especially if you have kids at the table.
Yeah.
Because I know, do your boys, are they kind of quiet at the table at things like that?
At
Do they have a
this-
kids
at
table?
our Thanksgiving, this meal I just described, it is kind of a little bit weird at my sister-in-law's house because not
adult.
everyone fits at this. There's a table in the dining room that some people sit at. There's a table in the kitchen that some people sit at. My father-in-law, quite frankly, sits on the couch with the plate on his lap and he watches TV. It's okay.
That's awesome.
So my mother-in-law doesn't like it, and then she, yells at him
Get
for it,
over
and
here.
it becomes not okay. There's all kinds of stuff happening. at that.
Family
So we
man.
don't have that great
Oh, boy.
central eating location.
So what would
Yeah.
happen
Interesting.
if one Thanksgiving you just didn't have certain family members at.
You didn't invite them?
Yeah, just a little family dinner.
Well, that was last year. I loved it. It was me, Mia, boy, dog.
Pandemic, yeah.
It was really, I'm actually more of an introvert than I am an extrovert. And I enjoyed that very quiet, small gathering.
12, 13
Then
families?
I kind of feel like, well, why did I need to go to all this, trouble? I feel like, well, we'll just make a normal dinner.
We also
because I don't need to impress
No.
someone or cook something fancy and set a table because it's just us and we just sit at the kitchen table.
You're worth it.
It's
You know,
too
when I
much
was-
trouble for just us, in my mind.
Okay.
Like if I'm having somebody over, like, all right, dinner, dining room table, place settings, well, I'll cook for you and whatever. But if it's just us, I'm like,
You don't
regular
do it.
dinner.
Even when I was single, when I was moving to different jobs, early in my career, and sometimes you had just gotten into town and you really didn't know hardly anybody, I would still go get a turkey and just make it for myself.
Nice, I love that.
You may remember last year when we did that dinner for four, I was bragging because we went to a restaurant, we ordered the turkey dinner for four. It was $59.99. I was like, man, the four of us are going to eat for $60.
Cheapest four-person
It's gonna be
dinner
awesome.
ever,
There's a
yeah.
reason it was $59.99.
We did that once. I'll
It
never
didn't
do
really
it.
feed a
two
family
people.
of four. Yeah, it was more like a feast for two. And
Yeah.
But again, just because it was the four of us, I was okay with not eating that much last
We
year.
went out to several years back. We went out to dinner. Never done that before. It was Thanksgiving. We went out to, and it was a nice restaurant that I had been to before, and Grayson had been to before, but it was a major disappointment. And I
Really?
would never do that again.
Yeah.
I felt like for the price, we absolutely got taken advantage of.
Oh, that's too bad. Listen to Levi Arthur. Says, my mom just opens the door for anyone who needs to eat or needs a warm place to get something to eat and join our
my
family.
gosh.
And we just sit around and share what we were thankful for. So is that like of your
How?
friends
Yeah, how do they
or
know?
coworkers, or where do you find the people, or just like, because that is kind of a Friendsgiving?
I like that. Drew and I are coming over. Give us the address.
Right. Because it doesn't sound like they find the people. It makes it sound like the people can somehow find them.
Yeah,
that's
so
beautiful. It's
Levi,
awesome.
you have to tell us more.
So Stacy says we did have a Friendsgiving
Friendsgiving.
last month.
That's
oh,
cool.
They had the Friendsgiving last month because a lot of her friends take off for other places for wintering.
Snowbirding, it
Yeah,
sounds like.
snowbird.
I'm totally in the mood for the holidays. I'm ready.
All right.
Bring it.
Okay.
I guess we're also ready to go because that music is playing. Oh, this is the desperation shot from director Byron. This really means we have to go. Let's show something other than the four of them.
Woo, bye, you guys. We'll see you tomorrow.